Hi, my name is Colonel Matt Shatskin. I'm faculty and staff here at the Army War College. And this past year, I led an integrated research project in support of the Army G4 on the Army's ability to conduct expeditionary maneuver. He asked us specifically, have past studies told us towards what we should do about this challenge, and what are we doing about it? So we took a look. In terms of the past studies, we found that not all the past studies were specifically focused on this problem, and so that may merit some further defining of terms of expeditionary and contingency so that we can focus on what the problem is and how to solve it. In terms of challenges and capability considerations identified by past studies, we were able to break them into several areas. For deployment challenges, broke down into speed and throughput challenges with capability considerations recommending things like the use of pre-positioned stock or the use of sea assets to facilitate the speed and transition of combat forces into a fighting capability. For deployment, we found that the challenges were the independence of forces deployed in an expeditionary environment, as well as the interdependence, the ability to integrate with alternative means and solutions. And so capability considerations address those challenges, increasing integration capability of Army units with non-Army units and solutions. In terms of what the Army is doing about this, we found that efforts centralized around four major strategies: the Army power projection strategy, two Army warfighting challenges, and the demand reduction strategy. As we know, strategy is a desire, and any strategy falls victim to the resourcing challenges of all the strategies and all the things that the Army is trying to do to increase its warfighting capability, both for tonight and the next 25 years. In terms of recommendations, we defined three major recommendations that go hand in hand. One is to take a look at defining the expeditionary operating environment and its accompanying sustainment challenges. So further defining what the problem is and what we're trying to do. We laid out a framework in terms of space and time so that capability considerations could be defined by their ability to do one of two things: either mitigate the vulnerabilities of the expeditionary environment or minimize the time in which the urgency of the environment surpasses our means to meet the requirements of the environment. The second recommendation we made was to invest in high payoff areas, which we found to be sea basing, the use of Army pre-positioned stock, the integration of new technologies, all towards decreasing the time required to deploy and transform forces into a combat fighting configuration and capability. We found that those high payoff areas were probably worth investing, but more importantly, the approach of how to invest in those capabilities is probably the most important. The approach being one that fully maximizes the efforts and capabilities of the Army's operational force, the Army's design force, and the Army's research force, which currently those efforts may be a little bit disconnected and potentially even in competition. So that merits looking at towards getting a maximum return on effort. So, in summary, to avoid relearning lessons learned, our recommendation focus on ensuring we've specifically defined the problem for the purpose of evaluating current and future efforts to solve the problem, number one. And number two, a more integrative approach towards solving the problem that maximizes the capabilities across the Army enterprise. Thank you.